It's official. Apple has sent out the invites, and there is going to be an Apple event on September 14th with a live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern. And there is potentially going to be a lot announced at this event, but Apple has basically given us zero clues with this year's tagline of California streaming. But just stay tuned because I think I know exactly what they're going to announce. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Greg here, and like a Thanos snap of the finger, Tim Cook is inevitable. And he's coming to the stage prepped with a bunch of new Apple gadgets to show off. But exactly what will Apple be showing off at this event, and what should you expect to be announced on Tuesday? Now, before we get into this video, just want to remind you, if you're new here or a returning viewer, make sure you click the subscribe button because the next few months are going to be jam-packed with Apple news and Apple products. And I don't think you're going to want to miss a second of this exciting coverage. And also, who knows? I'm feeling a little bit generous, so maybe we'll do a giveaway sometime soon after the September event. And there is potentially a lot to unpack here, but what can we realistically expect from Apple's September event? And could there actually be any surprises? Well, let's go over it one by one with what I think we will most likely see at the event, and this is no surprise here, a brand new iPhone, the iPhone 13. Now, just like the iPhone 12, we are expecting the iPhone 13 to come in 4 different flavors: a small iPhone 13 mini, the regular sized iPhone 13, a more premium version of that phone, the iPhone 13 Pro, and the biggest, most expensive iPhone, the iPhone 13 Pro Max. All screen sizes for the iPhone 13 will be the same as the iPhone 12 lineup. However, this year's iPhone 13 is rumored to be featuring a slightly different design, with rumors swirling around that the 13 will be getting a smaller notch by moving the earpiece up into the bezel and just using the cutout space for the sensors for Face ID. Speaking of Face ID, we may actually be getting an upgraded version to the iPhone 13 that would be able to unlock the user's phone even if the user was wearing something that blocked their face, like a face mask or goggles. Another big rumor about this year's iPhone 13 is that Apple will be improving the display technology to include an LTPO OLED display, which could enable dynamic refresh rates of up to 120 Hz. This would mean that the animations on the iPhone 13 would look more fluid, and things like scrolling will look noticeably smoother, kind of like they already do on the iPad Pro with its Pro Motion display. With this LTPO technology, Apple may also be able to enable another iPhone 13 feature, and that could be an always-on display. That could display things like time, weather, notifications, and other information on the display at all times, even when it's kind of technically turned off. Of course, there are some other big upgrades planned for the iPhone 13, including a new A15 chip, which could have some CPU and GPU performances over the A14 chip, and perhaps be even more energy efficient and give us some battery life gains. Speaking of the battery, the iPhone 13 is also rumored to include a bigger physical battery in every model, which could be a game changer, especially for the smaller iPhone 13 mini, because the previous iPhone 13 mini suffered from pretty mediocre battery life. So I'm really hoping the bigger battery in this year's model lead to some significant battery gains. I really hope the 13 mini can at least get an extra hour, and that would just make me so happy. Of course, one of the biggest upgrades with every new iPhone is the camera, and we are expecting some camera upgrades to the iPhone 13 that could bring in some pretty interesting features and improvements. First of all, we're probably just expecting better camera quality. It happens almost every year on every single model, but we are also expecting the iPhone 13 Pro model, the smaller Pro model, to borrow a lot of the improvements of the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So it should get a bigger sensor and sensor shift stabilization for better low-light photos, and it should also be getting that 2.5x telephoto lens that was, again, exclusive to the Pro Max model last year. As for new camera features, we are expecting a new portrait mode video feature. This would work just how portrait mode for photos works, except this time for video, letting the iPhone camera artificially blur out the background of the video to give more separation between the subject and the background and create a cinematic bokeh effect. We may also see the Pro iPhone models get the option to shoot video in ProRes codec, which is a less compressed version of video footage that retains more detail for when you're editing in post-production. Finally, this year's iPhone is also rumored to have an astrophotography mode, allowing for better photos of the night sky with automatic detection of the moon and the stars. And I assume it would just, kind of give your iPhone a longer exposure time and try and compensate for those light sources. As for pricing, I think we should expect prices to stay pretty much the same as the iPhone 12, so $700 for the 13 mini with the carrier deal, $800 for the 13, $1,000 for the Pro, and $1,100 for the iPhone 13 Pro Max. However, we could see a new storage model that will go all the way up to 1 terabyte of storage. All right, so there may be a few more things to expect from the iPhone 13, like some new colors, including a new deep black color and possibly a new bronze color. But for the most part, that is what to expect with the iPhone 13. I'm sure I left some stuff out, but I think those were all the important details. But that's not the only product that's going to be announced at the September event, because if you watch my video from yesterday, you know that I am expecting the Apple Watch Series 7 to also be shown off at this event. Now, I talked a lot about the Series 7 again in yesterday's video, so if you want even more details, you should probably check that out, but I'll try and make this quick for the expected changes for this year's model. And for this year's model, it is mostly going to focus around a major redesign, with the Series 7 adopting the flat-sided design language of Apple's recent products, like the iPhone 12, iPad Pro, and of course that beautiful M1 iMac. This new squared-off Apple Watch may also be getting some new color options, with John Prosser reporting that a green color option may be in the works. Furthermore, this design will also be more functional, because Mark Gurman from Bloomberg is reporting that the Series 7 will be getting a display with reduced bezels, and recent rumors have leaked bands with 2 new sizes for the Apple Watch, with the smaller model moving up from 40mm to 41mm, and the bigger model moving from 44mm to 45mm. Because of this bigger display size, Apple will be introducing more exclusive Series 7 watch faces that should provide even more rich complications and information available right at a glance. These rumored watch faces include a modular Max watch face, a new Continuum face based on the flow of time, a new World Time watch face, which will allow users to see all 24 time zones at the same time, not sure why you'd want that, and a new Hermes watch face, and a new Nike watch face. Now, while the main hallmark change of the Series 7 will be the new design, there are still going to be a few additional internal changes. First of all, we are expecting the new faster S7 chip, and this is going to be a double-sided system in a package, which will save space inside of the enclosure, which could also lead to a bigger physical battery inside of the watch for longer battery life. Unfortunately, for this year's Series 7, recent rumors have said not to expect any new health features. So again, while there will be a few internal upgrades, the main update to this year's Apple Watch is the new design, which I think looks pretty good based on some of these renders, but I would be interested to hear what you think about the design in the comments below, because it is a little bit divisive. Okay, now a new iPhone 13 and a new Apple Watch Series 7. You don't exactly have to be Nostradamus to predict that these were going to be announced at Apple's September event. However, are there any other products that we should expect at the September event? And what products will we have to wait just a little bit longer to see? Well, one product I expect to see at this event is the new AirPods 3. We have seen so many leaks about AirPods 3, including fully leaked photos of the product, to the point where third-party manufacturers have already made AirPods 3 clones based on those photos. So the AirPods 3 will feature a brand new design that are inspired by the AirPods Pro design, with a new shorter stem, although they will feature a design without ear tips, so they should still fit in the ear similarly to how the current AirPods do. Unlike AirPods Pro, the AirPods 3 won't feature advanced features, so no noise cancellation and no transparency mode. However, the AirPods 3 are expected to come with the wireless charging case as standard now, And I think it could also feature some improved sound quality over the regular pair of AirPods. Although the wireless charging case will be included, I expect the price of AirPods 3 to retail for around $159 instead of the $200 spot that the wireless charging model for AirPods 2 currently occupies. As for other products, well, I wouldn't expect to see any of those rumored M1X Macs like the MacBook Pro or new Mac Mini to be shown off at the September event. And if you're disappointed by the lack of Mac news for this September, don't worry, I fully expect to see these M1X Macs before the end of this year with my current guess for a completely separate October event just focused around the Mac. Now, there is one more product that I think we could see at Apple's September event. Well, technically two products, but I think the product that will generate more excitement is a redesign to the iPad mini. We have heard a lot of smoke about Apple making a new iPad mini, and I think this event would make the most sense to announce it at. I don't think it would be announced at the Mac event, but I could be wrong here. But this new iPad mini, we are expecting a new redesign that reduces the size of the bezels, just like the recent iPad Pro and iPad Air. With these reduced bezels, we are expecting the iPad mini to have an 8.4-inch display size, while keeping around the same physical size as the current 7.9-inch iPad mini. Because of the reduced bezels, we will see things like the removal of the home button, and in a lot of ways, this iPad mini is basically going to be just a smaller version of the current iPad Air, with a lot of the same features like Touch ID and the power button. And because it's sharing the same design, we expect other changes too, like a USB-C port instead of a Lightning port, support for the Apple Pencil 2, and possibly a smart connector on the back. Although I'm not sure if Apple would end up releasing a small iPad mini miniature keyboard. I don't know. I'm not sure if that would make sense. This mini sounds like such a fun tablet, and I can't wait to see what the iPad mini looks like when it gets this premium redesign treatment. The biggest question for the mini is if Apple will choose to ship it with the latest A15 processor that's going to be in the iPhone 13, or if they will ship it with the A14 processor, which is currently already in the iPad Air. As for the price of the mini, I think we should expect a price increase, moving it up from $399 to $499 for the 64GB model. I also think we could see an update to the regular iPad at this event, but this would just basically be a 10.5-inch iPad Air 3 design, and instead of the A12 chip that had, it would have an A13 chip inside of it. It'll be a nice tablet, especially if it's $329 if Apple keeps the same price. But again, this is pretty much an iPad Air 3 with an A13 chip, so not too much to go over with these rumors for the regular iPad. But that is what I expect to see at Apple's September event, and like I said at the start, that's going to take place on Tuesday, September 14th, with a live stream at 1 p.m. Eastern. But let me know in the comments below, what Apple product are you looking forward to at this September event? And do you plan on purchasing any of them? As always, if you like this video, give me a like. If you want to see more from the channel, make sure you're subscribed. And if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much. I hope it was helpful. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone.